The following program was paid for by Southern American Media. Fox 30 WGBC invites you to the talk of all the towns in East Mississippi and West Alabama. Welcome to Mornings with Scotty Ray and Candace.
And welcome to a Monday morning, already the 8th day of August, as we start a whole new month here.
I know.
How was school line today?
Very long, yeah. We got there about 6:30. No, excuse me, 7:30. Excuse me, 7:30 we got there. And, I mean, it took a little while, but they moved it by pretty fast. So, yeah, I'll have to leave a little earlier tomorrow morning.
They serve coffee in the line yet?
No, I had my own coffee, though. Mm-hmm.
Parents, get ready. That is part of it. And always be aware that there are school buses roaming the streets now. A little bit change for us as we get used to this new routine early in the morning and then late in the afternoon. This stuff can happen from 2 to probably nearly 6 o'clock, depending upon where the kids live on the rural route.
Yeah.
To get those kids back home.
The afternoon pickup was pretty long the other day.
They're all there now. Sad news is we learned, and I watched the new version of it once, and it just didn't turn me on. What? But TC, the guy who played Magnum in Magnum P.I., passed away over the weekend, 83 years old. The helicopter pilot, if you're going, okay, who was TC in the show?
Yeah. I remember him.
It just doesn't sound right for an actor from Magnum P.I. to be in his 80s.
I know. Time just is like, it just...
Not on our side.
I've heard somebody say time's a thief. It really is. It steals you years in a hurry.
It takes that youth. Whoa. But that happened over the weekend. I almost kind of shocked over that. I just wasn't expecting it. I think Higgins passed away a few years ago. And then they made Higgins a woman in the new show.
Yeah.
And it just was like...
They mess with stuff like that. I mean, goodness.
And then Barack Obama, as we all found out, bought Magnum's house.
Really?
Took a bulldozer and I think leveled it. Built a new place there.
I'm sure people were happy with that. But, you know.
Robin's Nest, wasn't it what it was called? Robin Masters. And then do you know how it ended?
No, I don't think.
Did you ever remember who Robin was?
No.
If I remember correctly, and y'all tell me, there wasn't a Robin. It was Higgins the entire time that was Mr. Masters, and he just pretended to be someone else. If I remember right.
Huh.
That's what I think. But
it's been a minute since I watched that. So.
But
it was a while, yeah.
The show of Hawaiian flowery shirts and all that good stuff back in the day. We all watched it. We sure did.
Yes.
Well, this has been a weekend for, we have to just call it what it is. Nudity. Naked Man has been busy.
Do you think they're confused? Like, do you think they live? Do you think that they think they live in a nudist colony?
It could be.
I don't know.
As we visit our latest, he was out at 5:30 this morning, running the streets of Meridian, wearing absolutely nothing but a smile once again as we pull it up. Here he is.
And do they get any kind of ticket for that, like a moving violation?
He's been arrested once.
Yeah.
It's not hard to figure out.
Yeah, I knew he was arrested one time, but I'm like,
and all of y'all that go, oh, pity, 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 he hides his clothes and puts them back on. So let's shake that he doesn't know right from wrong.
Yeah.
If you put your clothes back on to blend back in so you won't get caught, you're not really all that messed up. Just saying. Happens a lot. And then we also...
Well, you messed up, but it ain't...
True.
It ain't
now, he made
the point where you don't know what you're doing.
2 appearances this weekend, and now we have the naked woman who appeared just west of North Crest. She was just tootling on down the road there at North Hills. No word yet.
Moving violations.
She's been arrested. I think she got away also. So that's just the area. Maybe we need to put in a pool for those folks over there, like the upper deck of those Carnival cruises or whichever cruise that offers that service.
Yeah, we need a Gomer pile.
Golly,
run citizens arrest. Yeah.
Maybe that's the answer to all of this. Now, also we had a new one, Highway 11 and 80. Saw someone exposing themselves this weekend. Don't know what's causing all this, if it's the moon or the heat, but it's lots of it around here.
Yeah.
Cindy, I think that has been done several times.
I don't think the heat's one of the things because, I think the naked man was spotted when it was like 30 degrees outside.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Jeff said he could be a turkey hunter, just up early. Gobble, gobble. Lots of folks are up. Oh, Jamie says everybody gets away. Speaking of getting away, let me see if I can find this address and show you where this went on this weekend. You don't hear this happening often, but it did here. Let's pull this up where you can take a look here. A police officer involved in a wreck this weekend. Problem was, the guy that ran the stop sign and hit the cop kept right on a going. He ain't slowed down just yet. That was over 42nd Avenue and Paulding Street, which would be, let's pull this back up. We can get a better view of where this is. This is going to be Highway 19 right here. This is coming up. Chino's is here. If you were to take a right there on Manning Street, Paulding Street.
okay.
Over here to the east is where this is. Real close to the Gypsies. Just south of 8th Street is where all
Like
that
on the
happened.
back side of that.
Yeah. Directly in front of Rodney's muffler there is where all that went down. They just kept right on.
That's pretty brave. You hit the cop car and just keep going. Like, no big deal.
I would get caught quick. For
Probably
door ding.
people who were like trying to do the right thing, and of course they'd probably stop.
Yeah.
So
And we don't know the extent of all what went on last night, but the folks that like to take things, that's those folks that rob things and slip up and take things. A lot of alarms went off last night. If you own a business, you probably got a phone call last night. The Meridian Police Department didn't have time for donuts last night. They were too busy.
yeah.
It was on the trail they went. We got a report, the 4400 block of 20th Street. This would be over near East Mississippi State Hospital.
If I'm not mistaken, it's right there in that curve.
Yes.
Like where the road kind of forks. You can go to the right and go to Highland Park.
And we had some vandals go in there and take some things that weren't theirs. Shame on them.
Yeah.
But apparently at this point, and of course, they're investigating that, probably fingerprinting, doing all that good work this morning also.
Yeah.
14th Street. If you work overnight anywhere on that stretch of 14th Street down there through the hospitals, check your car. I think a few folks were roaming around borrowing things out of cars. That's a pretty common thing that they do. Now, fortunately, let me knock on wood here that
Yeah.
that's never happened to me, but it could easily happen to any of us.
Yeah. I mean, even if somebody wants to break in, don't leave stuff in plain sight, but don't leave valuable stuff in your car because they'll just break the window, rummage through it, or.
And I forget the car. I should have saved the article, but there's a newer car out, and I'm not going to call the brand because I could be mistaken at what it was. But your plastic around where your key is, they're cracking that off, and then you take a USB cord and plug into something there and plug it to a phone, and they can jump start a car. It was one of the I got to read more on that. But as you're all working, trying to earn a living, there's people that practice all day of how fast they can get into cars and whatnot.
Oh, yeah. And scams online, too,
Yeah.
Be leery. I'm just going to say be leery of stuff for sale on media sites, Because I know people will ask you for deposits on it. Oh, you got to put a deposit down, and don't do it.
Mail order brides count on that also. I just
Don't
want
do
to
that
warn
either.
y'all.
Yeah.
And you joke. I know several people that's had that.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Unless you know the person and you know how to get in touch with them after you've given them your money, do not give them your money.
Can you draw?
upfront.
Can you draw pictures? Are you good at that?
Yeah, I used to be. Yeah, I used to be.
All right. I need
in the
you and
part.
anybody that's watching because I'm running out of pictures. As I've been using the illustrations here,
my goodness.
I need some new examples of Naked Man because he's new every day. So we need more pictures that I can share. So if you're an artist and would like to be a feature here as he makes his way,
I don't know that naked people was anything I ever drew.
well, you
so
don't.
I don't think I'm. I don't think
see. Look at this picture.
don't
You
have
don't
enough
show
experience.
anything. It's just one of those
I could do a stick man.
flowers. Stickman's not as entertaining. But if you're a great artist, we'd like to feature you.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that to somebody else.
I'll give you credit there for what you draw up there. We also had a wreck yesterday afternoon, and this involves the big nasty, as I call it. It's called drinking and driving. We're understanding that a wreck happened yesterday afternoon around exit 151 as we pull this up.
Goodness.
involved this pickup truck. We understand witnesses say it hit several cars before came to arrest, came into town. Of what witnesses, there wasn't a radar, but they were saying probably running 100 miles an hour, hitting cars. I think he's been arrested.
That's a good thing.
For doing what he shouldn't have been doing.
That's awful.
On a Sunday. We can't control these things.
Mm-hmm. I'd be.
Austin,
you might be surprised at what you. See. Yeah.
Austin Cunningham said, "Be careful what I ask for. No telling what I might get when I get naked man pictures." And I do have the real footage, several pictures of naked man making it, but it's just we've tried blurring it, and we've done it once, but he moves a lot, and it's hard to keep up with the bubble there as he goes down the street.
Oh, my goodness!
And if it was naked woman, I guess it'd be several things going across your screen. But there's some great artists out there. I know it is. That's a few of the headlines. We got a lot more things that have gone on over the weekend in our little community. We ain't even scratched the surface. So don't rush off. We're going to tell you more about this as the day begins of what's going on. Meridian, some tragedy happened over the weekend, too. We'll talk about that next as we get your day started.
Health Now is your locally owned medical equipment store. Every person's need is a little different, and they offer a little bit of everything from hospital beds, wheelchairs, reclining back wheelchairs, breathing treatments, CPAPs and supplies. They even have walkers, bath products, and oxygen. And the great thing about Health Now is they offer same-day service. They're open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and on call 24/7. Health Now Medical Equipment, where we treat our patients like family.
One of the most important places to you is your home. That's why Patrick Allen Companies is proud to provide style, functionality, and security to your home. There's nothing quite like a well-designed overhead garage door or vinyl replacement windows, or the safety of a storm shelter to help your family feel protected. Patrick Allen offers doors and windows for commercial and industrial with dozens of innovative designs. Patrick Allen Companies, safety, service, and satisfaction.
Welcome back, Scotty Ray Candace, on a Monday morning, the 8th day of August. School has started, and the countdown to Christmas has really begun.
I don't want to think about having to buy the gift thing. I stress at Christmas time, even though Christmas shouldn't be just about that. I know, but I mean, I just, and it's not about that, but everybody gets stressed.
Are you backtracking too much over there?
No, I mean, Christmas is not about receiving gifts, but everybody, usually does the gift buying thing at Christmas, and I stress because I'm always a wait to the last minute person. I'm not one of those people who buy a little bit here and there year round. So at the end,
most Americans aren't.
I know there are some of those people. I have a friend that she's on top of it, like on every situation. She's so organized. I would be.
You should hang out with her more often.
I know, but that would stress me out too. I'm just like, the other day I said, I would be so stressed because they go on trips all the time. And she never misses a wedding. She never misses a birthday. She never misses any of that. She's always so organized.
I've been to a few.
Good to get a shower and wake up the next morning.
I've been to a wedding, and I guess you're the last person I know that actually married. It's becoming not so popular anymore. As bad as we hate to say that, that weddings have faded off, and people just what do you call it? Move in with each other.
Yeah.
Okay, and another thing that we need to address that was brought to my attention last night. Be sure and I'm not going to use any names on this. I am not. I got a snapshot of it. And if you use social media pages and you don't know what you're doing, think twice before you make a post. Let's use Twitter, for example. Let's say that you don't use it that much, but comment on other people's topics. Whatever you post on somewhere else comes across the news feed for everyone in the world to read.
So are you saying like if you want to send somebody a personal message?
No, this is just like if you're on Twitter, you pull it up and you see something, you go, oh, I think I'll comment on that. Anything that you post there, the entire world can see. It's not just on their page. Okay.
I thought somebody might have been like, posting
it was
personal information, and then everybody saw it.
Well, it's personal now after what they posted on that page, and everybody in Meridian knows what was said. It was like,
yeah.
I ain't believing he said that. A pillar of the community. And he's not aware, I don't think, that went public. So just be cautious. I'm not causing any trouble. I'm not going to tell what they said or where it was, but I like fainted.
Oh, goodness.
It was pretty rough there. But be careful what you do. Know your social media before you make a post. Even on inbox, be careful on all that.
Okay.
I'm going to send Candace out to investigate this.
Yeah.
She's just really not into this investigative report.
No, I mean, I do pretty good when I'm trying to look stuff up and find out information. I'm pretty good at that.
Les says living in sin. Mm-hmm. That one was kind of like the cat out of the bag. Whew.
Yeah.
As we begin today, as we said, a horrifying weekend as we add 2 more murders to Meridian, Mississippi. And again, I've got to check back with police to get it official. And I somewhere or another lost count. I don't remember if this makes 11 or if this makes 12. I know for sure we were at 9 and we've had 2, and I may have missed one in there. So we're sitting at 11 or 12 murders for the year in Meridian, Mississippi. We pull up our next one. State Boulevard was the scene of our latest murder that we had on Saturday night. It was within 24 hours of 2 murders. Meridian Police were called to the scene of someone heard gunshots right up the road on 37th Avenue. That's where it was reported from. But the gunshots actually came from State Boulevard. As they came up on State Boulevard, someone would flag them down and let them know that someone was lying in the ditch. They were still alive. They were rushed to a local hospital. In the end, they did not make it. Now, we don't have the details at this point as to why they were shot. It was a couple houses back from where they were found is where they were shot. Whether this was a drive-by, if this was an argument, we do not know. But it has left someone dead. It was a male, is all we know. We don't have a name or age just yet. We do expect that to be released today. Now, just hours before that, we had another murder as we pull this up. This one happened on 22nd Avenue and 22nd Street. Again, a male was in his car, was found in the car deceased. We are assuming that this also was some form of a drive-by. Right. And I mentioned earlier, we have had one case of this year where they got in the car with an individual and he was shot. Most of the time, this is a drive-by. I don't know that for sure. We just know that a man was found deceased with gunshot wounds in the car. And we'll get explanations of this in a little bit.
Yeah. It's horrible, though. I mean, we talk about murders. I mean, 1 is too many. But to have 11 or 12, I mean...
And in each one of these folks, I don't know them on a personal level. I do not. But I feel for them and their family, and they've got friends. And then sometimes this causes retaliation of, you hurt my friend, I'm coming to hurt you. That does happen and sometimes leads to more crime in the area. Police are doing their best to solve this. The first, this one on 22nd Street, they had no clue as to who had it right off the bat. Now, things may have changed since Friday night when I spoke to them. We'll get more details coming up today as this comes about. And I mentioned this also. I've been asked this many times, and you and I have talked about it. The accident that happened the other day with the motorcycle, to where the young lady lost her life in it, her husband's still in the hospital. I have not heard back from police how that has been classified.
Yeah, that's been pretty quiet.
Of charges, are there charges? What's going on with it? We'll try to find out today more details on that to let you know of what went on. We just don't have many details on it. So we hope to find out more about that.
Yeah, that was awful, though.
Denise says that State Boulevard's seeing their share of crime, and that is true.
And, you know, I grew up, my mother grew up on State Boulevard. I had a grandmother who lived on State Boulevard when I was young, and we stayed at her house a lot of times. We always felt safe. And like I said, my grandparents lived over behind the college, and it was always safe enough for us to walk blocks to the park and get a snow cone, you know, and we didn't think anything about that. Of course, I was always the younger one. I had to walk with the older kids or I couldn't go. But now I would not let my kid walk to the end of one of those streets. I mean, it's gotten bad, you know. And it's sad. It really is. Hopefully there'll be a turnaround at some point, but it's a lot to do.
Jamie Stockman getting on me because I didn't finish and tell the whole story, nothing but the story a while ago. I can't.
Yeah. Oh, about the comment?
Yeah, that's just too risky to go into effect. And I worded it that way just to say, be cautious what you do. I'll leave it at that. I have to. Rick Joyner, good morning to you. Glad to see them. Miss Joy Subtle is up. Carthage, Mississippi is where she's joining us from.
Yeah. Sean Humphreys, good morning to you. Jeannie McKay, good morning. And we have Bill Reinhart watching from DeKalb, Mississippi.
Kosciuszko, somebody went in and robbed the Dollar General up there. They don't know who did it, but Dollar Generals get picked on in these rural routes a lot. We look at Alabama, downtown Birmingham. You remember in Jackson where they blocked off the road and they done all the donuts?
Yes.
They were doing that in Birmingham in a parking lot. And it was two cars spinning doing it, and they hit one another. Well, it made each other mad. What do? They start shooting at one another. And if you ever watched any of those shows, what was it, Fast and Furious, where they have the crowds, and that's the way it was. And once they started shooting, a young lady got killed in the crowd, 3 others wounded.
In Birmingham?
Birmingham.
Oh, my goodness.
That's
A girl that I know, that happened right outside of New Orleans not long ago, too. But nobody got shot that I know of, but she said there was somebody hanging out the window with a gun in his hand, and there was so much smoke you couldn't hardly see it. But if you ever see anything like that, turn around and get out of there. Don't go, try to move on up on that, thinking that it'll stop. Because
Also, a few other things that happened on the weekend around our area. If you were in the 200 block of 23rd Street, whoop, somebody was laying in the road. Thought they'd just take a little nap there.
Oh, not a good place.
Police kind of showed them where not to be, got them out of the roadway. We also had a pretty serious robbery over the weekend. We're going to call it strong-armed robbery, as we had someone attacked. They were robbed. The 1100 block of 29th Avenue is where that went down. I want to say the gentleman may have been injured a little bit there.
Where would that be around?
Let me
pull that up.
Let me dig that up for you here. I had to do a little Google here because I didn't have that set.
I'm sorry. We don't have to pull it up right now. We'll figure it out on a break.
There's only, I'm just, I can't talk and chew bubble gum at the same time.
I can't do it either. If somebody asks me a question and I'm doing something else, I can't even answer a question. So.
Yeah, let's see. I'm trying to do that. I'm going to have to get you to where you're good at this. That's the best I can do there as we pause just a little bit. I apologize for that. This is going to be back over behind the old mall is where this is going to be. As we pull this up to show you here, this is in the area that went on, right along in here.
Okay.
29th Avenue, 1100 block 1st Street. And as you back this out so you can see, this is going to be the old mall right in here, and this is a street over here, Martin Luther King Drive, back in there. No serious injuries, but again, someone hurt.
All right.
There's more and more that goes on behind the scenes than we really realize. This was also a weekend chock full of, and I have to give kudos, I just don't know how many. The Meridian Police Department recovered several stolen cars. We also had a whole lot more stolen over the weekend also.
Goodness.
And just saying...
The thieves are busy, for sure. Yeah.
Whether you got your keys in it or not, they're good at this. And they want it. Quick sales, stripping, whatever they do with them. And then the other, which is use your vehicle to go rob somebody.
Goodness.
Busy, busy, busy. So watch the criminals. They want what you have is the moral to our story this morning. Let's see what else went on here. I did get a report. We've talked about that one. Cars broken into. Highway, that one. I think that kind of puts us up there of all of those incidents that happened are the bigger events that went on most of the weekend.
So the criminals were busy.
They were.
Very busy.
I'm telling you, it is not, I truly, and I am pro-police. Y'all never, ever doubt that. Our boys in blue and ladies are busy trying to keep the peace. They try really, really hard. It's just criminals have got a foothold. No other way to word that. Speaking of that, New York, do you see this? A little over $2 million of jewelry.
I heard about this, yeah.
60 seconds in a store and
gone. It was
gone.
like the movie Gone in 60 Seconds. Yeah.
Sure was.
Yeah, that was a well planned out robbery.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
If you're planning on flying, I urge y'all to consider driving because it's not real sure you'll get there. They had 1,000 flights canceled this weekend. And it's at the end of the day due to lack of personnel.
Yeah. I guess a shortage, is it a shortage in pilots or?
A little bit of everybody, the baggage people and
Right.
everybody getting everything together. They just can't process the demand anymore. Maybe with this, like the state of Mississippi doing away with the free rental to where people will go, golly, I need a job again.
From what I understand, the airline tickets have skyrocketed.
Oh, have they?
Yeah. I've heard that it's
Jet
very
fuel.
expensive to fly now. Yeah.
Yeah, I just haven't flown in a while.
I haven't either, but don't want to either. It's not one of my favorite things.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it,
Oh, I
Candace.
don't like you don't like heights. I don't like airplanes.
You get on,
No.
and it feels like you're like Jed Clampett said. If this bus gets any faster, I think it's going to take off, and it did. With him and Granny. That was a funny episode. If you've never seen that, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sure that one probably is, but I'm telling you, I swore when I saw duct tape around the casing of a window one time when I was on an airplane, I swore I'd never get back on another one, but I did. But
You
yeah,
just
it's
sit
not my
down in
favorite
your
thing.
chair, and he goes, whoo, and then in about 30 minutes, you normally land where you're at. Unless it's real far off, it may take
Yeah.
2 hours.
Yeah. I can't imagine having one of those long, long flights. Oh, goodness. Not my favorite thing, though.
Nah, it'll be okay. Try
Keep
it.
my feet on the ground as much as possible. Yeah.
Outrage in Texas. And do y'all never, sin is sin and been going on since time. A lot of the crimes we talk about is nothing new. It's been invented. And this just wasn't brought to light as much as it's being brought to right now. But a Texas teacher, of course, she lost her job over this, who got caught having an affair with a student. People are upset in the community as the judge, they're saying, is just a little bit too lenient. And
Yeah.
the more lenient judges are, the more repeat, because people go, what?
Yeah.
She got 60
big
days
deal.
in jail for having an affair with a student. She'll get a little probation, but 60 days.
I would think that the parent of the student would be real hostile too. I mean, I know I would if it was my child. I might be waiting on her. I don't know. No, but 60 days, that's crazy.
That's,
not enough of a sentence or.
Not much at all there. Let's see.
It's a little
Jamie
slap
says
on
she
the
would have got
wrist.
off your duct tape plane. Mm-hmm. Apparently, you didn't
Well,
watch the
I
A
didn't
team where
realize
they had
it, Jamie, until I was in midair, because I'm just looking this way. And then I look over in the window casing. I mean, seriously, it had a big old piece of duct tape right there. And I was thinking, really? And the plane only had 6 seats. It was a small little commuter plane from the airport in one of the places I was in Texas. Yeah.
Jan says she loves flying. She goes anywhere, Jan Martis. And I agree with you because you're not wore out when you arrive. If you drive from here to Houston, 8-9 hour drive, depending upon traffic, and you're just let me use that word, plumb wore out.
Yeah.
But you arrive and you're fresh and you get off with a smile and you treat people better with your cup of coffee.
Yeah. I mean, it is faster. It is more convenient, I'm sure.
Elmer, watching this morning from MD Anderson out in Houston, Texas. How are you doing? Sean says, prosecute to the extent of the law. And if you're watching from home on television and wonder who we're talking to, we don't have a live studio audience in the studio with us. They're communicating with us through Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And you too can join. Scotty Ray Report. Go to each one of these platforms. You'll be able to pull it up under YouTube, under Sam Media. Like, subscribe, and, well, you get notified then when we go live at all given times. Pretty simple there. Hope you'll do that.
Yeah.
Biden has come out of his hole. After 2 weeks of isolation, he says he's COVID-free now.
That's good. He's been in isolation most of his presidency, I think.
He has been down in the
Basement.
cave.
Yeah.
Hey, I almost called you this weekend to see if you had monkeypox. I had something on my arm, and I
Yeah.
thought, oh my gosh, it's monkeypox.
Oh,
and I'd
gosh.
been bit by an ant, and I was just making sure you didn't have it.
I hope, it has not come to our household. Thank goodness.
That y'all watch all this stuff. The cases of this grows each day. We're over
It is.
6,000 to 7,000 people in America right now.
Yeah. It is. It's pretty. And if you look at it, it looks different than what it did when it first came out. I've seen pictures of it. It almost has a rash, almost like that hand, foot, and mouth.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it almost has that kind of a rash. Like I saw a picture of a guy that had it on the palms of his hand, all over his, just
Ooh,
all
bless
over.
him.
Yeah. So Scary.
And again, I'm not a specialist. I don't know
not
exactly how
either.
to cure all that.
Yeah.
Just wash hands, be careful, know who you're sitting next to.
Yeah.
It's going to
Definitely.
be, and y'all just be prepared. This is not the end of this. There will be something new before long that comes along to where you're going to need to go get a shot to keep away from it. We see more and more in this. It's spreading like wildfire.
It is. We have to be on alert, I guess,
We
at
do
all
there.
times.
Good morning, Thomas Rogers, watching us from downtown DeKalb. We appreciate that. As we talk about our friends at Maple's One Stop Shop, the folks, they're clean, conveniently, and locally owned. They got, all kinds of grits and eggs being whooped up this morning for our friends out there in Causeyville. You can find it at St. Paul also. Lots of food, and the menu coming out very shortly from now for lunch. Tater logs, chicken, a whole lot more. Whatever you're looking for, they've got a great lunch menu for you. Coffee, if you're on the go. They offer that loyalty coffee program with cold drinks, Snicker bars, and pizza. Who wouldn't like some of that? Now, of course, they're going to have lottery tickets and a lot of ice cream. Anything else you might need there in the background, they got it for you. 6 locations in town: Bonita, Pine Springs, Causeyville. Great folks out there in that community, along with Last Chance, Broadmoor Chevron, and 31st Avenue. See them. They've got something new, something exciting just for you. Drop in and visit with them. You'll be glad that you did. The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built in, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group. Welcome back with Scotty Ray and Candace. And someone brought this up, and we do need to say a that a boy going out to a couple of folks.
That's right. Landon Harper and Ben Etheridge, they were drafted by the Atlanta Braves, and they're both graduates of Northeast Lauderdale High School. So
Hey, maybe
congratulations.
Atlanta
That's
can win now with some hometown folks on there.
great representation for us.
That's big. I don't know if
Yes, it
everybody
is big.
realizes.
I know. Lots of people watch the Atlanta Braves. That was one of my granddad's, or Papaw, that's what I called him. It's his favorite team.
So Atlanta, and some folks from our town making it big. That is, I'm excited for them. A career life is starting for them, and in the majors they go.
That's right. It's great.
Now, I don't know how long, because I don't know enough about the baseball side. I don't know how long you have to be there before you get to the field.
I'm not
Like
sure
if you have to
either.
pay dues in the dugout for a little while and back up. I don't know how that works.
I don't know either. Maybe somebody can answer that. but-
Always talent coming from the state of Mississippi. Congratulations again to y'all.
Yes.
Can't say enough. Let's take a moment and go back in time and look at a few things that happened on this date. There's a few of you who are doing this right now as we're talking. You're all up into it. Can't hardly listen to us because it's so crunchy. It was invented on this day back in 1898. Cornflakes came along.
Yep. I like cornflake candy. You ever had that?
Yes.
That is so good.
That's fine.
It is.
It is. And it depends on whether you like to add sugar or maybe you like Tony, the frosted kind, which came out years later. It was 1932 that you would hear about this man, and he's done so many things. He's just a Coca-Cola cowboy. It was Mel Tillis's birthday. He passed away back in 17, one of the greatest country artists that ever came along that had the speech impediment.
That's right.
Couldn't talk to you, but boy, he sure could sing.
I know. I thought that was always odd that he would stutter when he talked, but he didn't when he sung. So, sang, excuse me.
But great music from Mel Tillis. And y'all look him up if you hadn't listened to a Mel song. Just don't play Send Me to Tucson. I never really liked that song.
Oh, you didn't like that?
That was not my favorite one of Mel's but songs. 1937, Dustin Hoffman. Boy, you don't hear this guy anymore.
He was in that, the one with Ben Stiller. He was the Barbara Streisand's husband in Meet the Fockers Part 2, I think it was.
Oh.
Yeah.
Didn't
It
realize
was really
that.
funny.
Dustin.
He did. He
you're
played a good
right.
role, too.
He was a
He's really-
flaming liberal in it, wasn't he?
I
Like a
think
tree
so.
hugger?
I think both of them were, him and Barbara Streisand. But he played a good role in that. It was funny.
Oh, it was funny. It's
I
just-
think the movie before that I saw that he was in was Rain Man. Because didn't he play Rain Man? He did.
Maybe.
I think he did.
I just know that Tom Cruise was in it. Outside of that, I
but
don't.
Dustin Hoffman was Rain Man.
Okay. All right. I'll take your word for that one. Statler Brothers. Anybody remember this group? Phil. If you'll remember back, Harold, Phil, Don, or Lou. Well, it's Phil's birthday. The middle guy there, the little skinny dude. It's his birthday today. Hope he has a big one there. The Class of 57. So many other hits. I'll Go to My Grave Loving You. And then How to Be a Country Star. You remember that song?
If I heard it, I probably would recognize
Gave
it.
specific instructions on how to be a country star. Well, learning how to sing like Willie, and said at the end of the song, it kind of really wrapped it up how the song went of how to be a country star. It went on to say that if you have no talent and you're built somewhat like Dolly, come backstage and ask for Harold, Phil, Don, or Lou, and we'll teach you how to be a country star. It was humorous.
Yeah.
But it named everybody at the time when that song was released of that was in country music of what they were. And even mentioned O'Mail back in the day. 1947, and as a kid, I was glued to this. And I have to say, it was the absolute, as Hollywood got it later and thought, we'll just make a remake of this and make a big TV movie out of this. They absolutely ruined it.
Yeah.
Just totally destroyed it. But as a kid, it was great. Who remembers Chips?
Oh, I watched it all the time.
Paunch and John celebrates a birthday today. Born in 1947. Always liked him. He was kind of like the good guy.
Larry Wilcox. So he would be, what, 74, 75?
Boy, that even
Around
sounds
there.
weird, don't it?
I know.
What is happening? We're all getting old.
We need the, like, today version pictures, too, sometimes. Like, side by side.
Some of those you don't want.
I don't know.
It's just better to have a memory. It's like an old girlfriend that you bump into. It's just better to remember as she was. Because you have nightmares after that. That's why I say that. 1953, who remembers watching Happy Days? Ralph Malph is celebrating a birthday today. Born in 53.
Did he go on to be some kind of politician? Do you know that?
I don't.
Seems like I heard that one time, and I was real surprised.
Ralph
But maybe
Malph.
I'm wrong.
The Cunninghams.
Yeah.
What a great show that was. 1974, we would all be glued to the television. Even at 5 years old, I remember that black and white television sitting at the end of the room and watching this nightly. And it all led up to this moment of what they really wanted to do was get rid of him. As Richard says, I am not a criminal. He resigned as president effective immediately of the United States. And Gerald Ford would stumble into the White House and we would all go, ooh.
Goodness.
Wasn't the best that we had.
Yeah.
He didn't get reelected. He may have failed trying to enter Air Force One. As we look at other things that happened on this day, this was big. And so many people go, Hank Williams Jr., an icon in himself, who went on, his daddy was probably the biggest influence in country music there was. Hank Jr. has left a huge mark. But in 1975 on this date, it would be the day that we almost lost Hank. Why does Hank Williams Jr. wear a cowboy hat? Why does he wear sunglasses? Well, because he has one eyeball left. Fractured head. He fell off Ajax Mountain on this date. And if you've ever watched any of the documentaries about this, he nearly died.
Yeah.
And it was
I'd heard that.
little 11 or 9-year-old boy that stayed with him as his daddy ran to get help. He fell nearly 500 feet down that mountain. And they stayed with him in the bottom until he was rescued. It would take months and months. And if you remember the song All in Alabama, it kind of goes back and describes on that. Hank Jr. has been hit with tragedy here in the last year or so.
Yeah, his wife passed away. And then I learned that she had just had no. She had her breast implants removed, and it punctured a lung. That's what happened. Yes.
Last year, Hank Jr. would lose his daughter in a car wreck as well. He's had his tragedy.
Yes.
So we think of old Hank Jr. with all he's gone through. But today was a major day in his life. 1981, and this was probably one of the best illustrations I've seen TV Guide ever do. Archie Bunker would grace it in 1981. Now, it's a big argument no matter where you go. I've always heard this. Some people love the smell of a cigar.
I can't.
The other folks can't stand it.
I hate it. I don't like it.
You don't like that smell?
No, I do not like it.
I remember as a kid, and there's a lot of people from Kemper County that will remember the name G.C. Likely. G.C. always drove up and he'd park and have his cigar. I can still smell it now.
Yeah.
1986, this would be the very last day that you could watch it. It ended on this date. Who remembers sitting back watching Kit and Knight Rider?
I remember that.
It was the end of the show. It just really wasn't as good as the Dukes of Hazzard. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that now if you want to go back and watch reruns. As you look at famous cars, it was second fiddle to the general.
Right. The one with Bo and Duke, not the cousins.
Coy and Vance.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Nobody
Once
did.
they changed it up. I didn't
Ratings
like
dropped like a biscuit.
it. Yep.
They had to work on that, negotiating the contract to get them back, and it did work for them. And then the producers would get cheap and start animating the General Lee jumping things, and ratings dropped even further. Yeah, that's how it happened. 2017, we would lose one of the greatest. The Wichita lineman, Glenn Campbell, passed away on this date back in 2017. Now, that's been 5 years now.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wonder how old he was when they took that photo.
Oh, that was young in his career, as Glenn was a young fellow there.
Yeah.
But Glenn, of course, what a romance he had with Tanya.
Yeah.
Wild and furious. Yeah. TNT, you might say.
It's kind of like oil and water.
It was.
There. Yeah. Didn't mix well.
Winnie says she loves the smell of a good cigar, not those cheap ones. I guess they have a different air about them. But I mean, that's big business of people. These are they called humidors, where they keep the cigars in those little rooms at certain temperatures. And what was it? The Cuban was supposed to be the greatest of all time that used to get smuggled in.
Yeah. Now I don't mind. There used to, when I was growing up, there was an older man that lived next to us. He and his wife, and he smoked a pipe, and he always had some kind of an apple scented something. A pipe doesn't bother me,
right?
But a cigar is just.
She was telling me before we went on, she just loves smelling Newport, and don't let her fool you, y'all.
Don't. Hush, people be thinking I'm the one that robbed them stuff.
The Newport Power Bandits.
I don't know. I do not like. I don't like the smell of cigarettes.
Lindsay says there is one in downtown Meridian that does that cigar thing.
Okay.
The pipe thing, and you always think of Santa Claus. Early on, Santa would have a pipe.
Yeah, a pipe doesn't bother me. That scent's kind of, it's not that bad, but the cigar is just, that's a stench when you get it up your nose. You just can't smell anything else after that for a while.
And I have to say, congratulations. Dawn Harlan says it's been a week that she quit smoking. Congratulations.
Yes.
That's
great.
a tough one.
Yes, I've heard it's tough. It very is.
I used to smoke, and it is a habit that is tough. And there's no patch that just, you got to decide it and man up and do it. Just cold turkey it. Didn't say it was going to be easy, y'all. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do. We got so much more to talk about and going on this morning as we bring you a Monday morning, August the 8th. Right now, about 77 as we wait for a heat index. Woo, y'all get ready. Yeah. It's going to be 101 with the heat index by this afternoon.
Oh, goodness.
Thunderstorms somewhere between 2 and 4 also. If you need to hang your clothes out on the line, I'd suggest getting them up by 2.
Yeah.
Just a little thought there. More on the way with Scotty Ray and Candace as we start your day. Good morning to you.
H&H Residential of Meridian is your #1 carpet and flooring store. If you've been thinking of a new look for your home or office, call for a free estimate or consultation. H&H can install, or you can do it yourself. H&H has all of your design needs from color, style, and texture. If you can dream it, H&H can make it a reality. Come see the large selection of hardwood flooring, laminate, vinyl, and even carpet. H&H Residential of Meridian, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4, 321 Hawkins Crossing Road. Call Rosemary anytime, 601-462-9541.
Spring is here, and it's time to quit spending all of your weekend cutting grass when you could step up to a Skag zero-turn mower. Freeman Tractor in Collinsville has the #1 rated zero-turn mower, Skag, with cutting widths from 36 inches to 72 inches. Skag, the #1 choice of professional landscapers because they know nothing outcuts or outlasts a Skag. 0% financing for 48 months with payments starting as low as $129 a month. Stop by Freeman Tractor on Highway 494 and see coleslaw or buttermilk.
Snowden and Company. That's where you'll find the folks who'll take care of your home. They got so much going on with this. Maybe it's time that you get a bigger home. Maybe you need a smaller one. Well, they do all of that. And that's what they do. From can to can't, Monday through Friday, they'll do this from early in the morning till about 5 in the afternoon. 453-3937. A few pictures of what they do. Houses all over the place. And, of course, they'll be closed on Saturday, but can make you an appointment and go visit any of these. Visit them online, snowdenrealestate.com. Closed on Sunday. And they take care of things from Clark, Neshoba, Newton, Kemper, and Lauderdale, and they've expanded. to the Jackson area as we get into this, the Brandon area, Flowood, Madison, Forest. Maybe it's the big city of Enterprise that you want to move to. Well, they can fix you up there also. Visit with them today. Lake Ross Collins to all over. It's Snowden & Company, 453-3937. Drop in for a visit today. You'll find Amanda and her team there, certified real estate negotiating expert, and she's good at it. I've lost a few battles with her. Talk to Amanda and any of your team. Again, 453-3937. They'll be glad to bring a smile and get you into a home in your area there. Now, I'm not saying that Candace's shirt is too tight, but she coughed a minute ago and all those buttons there went pop. I almost got hit.
No, I thought I was going to cough a lung a second ago. I didn't think I was going to make it before we went to commercial break. And I might have to ease on to the side in a minute.
There's nothing. I get those. You ever get that sneeze out of nowhere like a light hits you and you feel it and there's nothing you can do to stop it?
I know, but I hate that tickle. When you get that little tickle in your throat and you just like can't hold on before you start just massively coughing.
Wasn't that old boy's name on Moonshiners? Wasn't his name Tickle? Didn't he go to jail for a little while?
I don't know.
I really like watching that show.
I don't know. I just remember that real old guy. What was his name?
That he died, and they keep saying
he did pass away. Okay.
They kept saying he had the greatest corn liquor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Interesting show.
I can't remember what his name is.
That would, and correct me if I'm wrong, 90% of that to make it legal would have to all that be water, wouldn't it?
Well, I would think. I mean, I wouldn't think if you had a moonshine still that you'd be on national television showing everybody where it was and that you were doing it. But, you know.
Jeff says you done got the cooties. You got COVID.
No, I don't.
Mike says his name was Popcorn Sutton.
Yeah.
Popcorn. You're right. Popcorn. No cure yet if that's the same popcorn from Joe Biden. We're not sure.
Yeah, it might not be, but, you know, could be. But, no, if I even think that I have a little sniffle or something, I'll take a COVID test in a heartbeat. And
how many you got left? You've been sending off your free ones that they keep
my mother
adding?
made me take one the other day at her house. I was like, I'll take one when I get home. No, take it right now. You know, I didn't even go in her house. If I have even like a little cough or something, I don't want to go.
Oh, blame her. You got cooties. I wouldn't want you up in there. Tony Keller tells us still have a Dukes of Hazzard lunchbox. I had one of those. 3rd grade is when I had it.
Yeah.
I don't know what become of it. It got a big dent. But those are collector's items these days. It's amazing what you can get there. We see this, and I was thinking, you were correcting me before this morning or filling me in on this about this lady named Ann Hetch who had the wreck. She was drunk. They've already announced that. She was filmed a little bit earlier than that, drinking vodka and all. She jumped in a car and hit a woman's house. Now, she's got major burns.
And, okay.
Now,
she 90 miles an hour into a building. My goodness, it's a wonder she's still alive.
I was thinking that she was married to Ellen, and you say that they've parted?
From what I understand, Ellen has been with this Portia. I can't think of what her last name is. She's an actress, and that is who Ellen is with now, but she used to date this lady. Yeah.
Okay. Well, and destroyed the woman's house. They've even started a GoFundMe. I think they've raised $50,000 so far for the woman's house that was tore up. Somebody's got insurance in the end.
Yeah, let's hope.
That's the way that she'll be sued. If not, you don't drive through somebody's house and get away with it.
I just wonder if she can kill somebody.
Oh, it is.
Or herself. I mean, my goodness.
As we look at Atlanta, bad weekend in Atlanta, Georgia. 6 people. Let's see, 4 are dead, I think, this morning, and a 6-year-old lost his life in gunshots. Atlanta, Georgia is where all that went down this weekend. As we look at a few other stories that are happening across that we talked about, Biden getting his sick there. This Lake Mead, they keep digging up more bodies as the water goes down from the drought. This time they find another body, and a guy says he thinks it's his father that fell off of a boat there.
Oh, my goodness.
But the mafia must have visited this lake several times as they found people in barrels.
Oh, my gosh.
We'll leave it at that. They hadn't solved the crimes yet. But Lake Mead, a lot of folks are doing that. Sad news is we learned that a sailor has lost his life in the Baltic Sea. A 19-year-old has fell overboard, and his mother is distraught, to say the least. She says there's nothing in the world that can prepare you for something this tragic. They've called off the search as well.
I cannot even imagine. But, you know, that's got to be a dangerous job. I mean.
Yeah. It was in Finland is where it happened.
It was on a Navy destroyer ship.
Right there, the USS. Did you pronounce that Arleigh?
Arleigh Burke.
Arleigh Burke is the name of the ship. Again, condolences as we lose one of our boys in the service. We do hate that. More and more, we're hearing about this of John Benet Ramsey making it. Now we have one of the former people that were investigating saying, why don't we use DNA to solve this?
Yeah.
They still have her pajamas, every bit of her clothes, her fingernail clippings. They have every bit of this and could be DNA tested.
I mean, you would think somebody would just jump on that to try to get that solved.
Yeah.
Especially the dad. It looks like he would push for that. Yeah.
If anything becomes more of it, we'll let you know that. And this is, as I brought up, you remember the Bill Cosby thing, as guilty as Bill Cosby has been on things and he got out of jail, he was accused of something from the early 1970s. That's really too long to accuse somebody. If you didn't step up and do something in the 70s, why do it now?
Yeah.
Pete Rose, the next person that's being accused of something from 1973. He refused to even answer it from the reporter. He said, that's 55 years ago. I've done nothing wrong, and walked away. And I can't blame Pete for that.
Yeah. Well,
They're accusing him of wrongdoing.
I mean, I've never understood why people wait so long, though.
I don't.
Why do they do that?
I don't get it at all.
I would think every day or every year that goes by that you don't say something, the chances of you having any kind of conviction would be little to none.
It was a different time in America. As you remember, Loretta Lynn was married at 13 or 14, had kids by the time she was 14. I think if I'm somewhere right on that. It was a different time. People married a lot earlier.
They did.
That I don't know, but that's a long time to wait to try to accuse somebody of
Definitely
something.
not condoning somebody assaulting somebody. No.
And well, they're not even saying that it was assaulted. They're just saying he had a fling with somebody that would be considered underage, and I don't know the age.
Okay.
But that's just way too long.
It is. I agree.
Cindy Lee says that her youngest son served 20 years in the Navy. Wasn't a day that went by she didn't worry.
I would think you'd worry. I mean, even if they're not in a military, environment, you would worry about them. Mine are 26, 24, 19, and my little one's fits to be 8. And gosh,
we're going to turn.
We worry about them all the time.
Candace, and let her sing "In the Navy" by the Village People. Are you ready to sing that for us?
Sure, Scotty Ray.
Oh, days gone by there. Good morning, good morning. Already 8:52 with Scotty Ray and Candace as we start this early Monday morning, back to work for most folks. Thank y'all. We got so much more to talk about. We got a few more minutes before Fox says Kelly Clarkson is coming on. Yeah. That's all on the way this morning with Scotty Ray and Candace. Good morning.
The Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville is passing along these great savings this week. Fresh peaches, $1.99 a pound. Fresh corn, 3-pack, $1.79. Plums, $2.99 each. Coca-Cola products, a 12-pack, 12-ounce cans, 2 for $11. Assorted pork chops, $1.79 a pound. And certified Angus beef ribeye steaks, family pack, $12.99 a pound.
And we're down home, down the street, Piggly Wiggly.
If you're looking for a deal, go to Facebook and type in East Mississippi Online Marketplace. Scroll through all of the pictures that are there and pick the item that you want to bid on. Bids end on Wednesday night and Sunday nights at 8 p.m. And the winning bid can pick up the product the next day. Again, it's easy to do. Go to Facebook, type in East Mississippi Online Marketplace, and find the items that you want to bid on and save a bunch of money. That's 2 different auctions, Wednesday and Sunday night. Both sales end at 8 p.m.
And welcome back as we talk about our friend Chet. I've known Chet for nearly 40 years, probably. You'll find him this morning having a cup of coffee now. The intersection there, 9888 Highway 495. They're getting ready to tackle some cars today. Ones that have been dent and bended. If you've got one of those, call Chet. Let them take care of it. They'll do this in a hurry also. They'll get you back into your car because they know how inconvenient it is to be without your car. You can reach them at 737-2961 or drop in for a free estimate. They'll take pictures and get you all set up there and process some insurance work for you. No matter how big it is, how big of a scratch it is, or just how bad it got hurt, they'll put it back together like old Humpty Dumpty. You'll find it there, a name that you know and trust. It's Chet's Paint and Body. You'll find them in Center Hill, part of the community. Drop in for a visit today. Again, insurance claims welcome. They'll get you back rolling once again, and your paint will match. One of the important things that we want to point out from them. So you got a busy day ahead of you?
I've got some stuff I need to take care of today. Some errands I need to run.
Errands.
Yeah, errands.
I say hogwash on this next story. A guy that is known to be a top Republican donor says he believes Donald Trump will not run. I don't no more believe that than anything. I think that Trump is getting ready to do this. And if you'll look at the latest straw poll, DeSantis has like 20%. Trump comes in at 69% as they voted on this of who they think will be the next candidate on the Republican side. And I do think it's going to be Trump. I think he will do this.
I think it's crazy that they're saying this other guy would be the Democratic runner, but
Gavin
Newsom. Yeah.
There is no rock star right now in the Democrat Party. I mean, every one of them's got some, and you look at Gavin Newsom.
I mean, he's the one that they recalled, right?
Yes,
in
California.
Yeah. Why would somebody think that he would be a great president?
Well, let me scare you on this. The first person that got beat in the last election round is now the vice president of the United States.
Right. Well, that's true. That's true.
I mean, she was first out. Nobody wanted her from California, but yet she was still chosen. Still rumors that Jill didn't like it. Now, we don't know if that's true. I hadn't been to the White House to ask her myself, but that's a rumor.
Well, I think she's shown her true colors as to why that she, didn't win when she first ran.
Trump's headline
I
this
don't think
morning.
she was a good
And
choice.
this is hitting home for a lot of people, Candace. He's saying that, hey, we're going to take men out of women's sports. Let me back up in the White House is what he means by that. He's going to fix that little issue.
Well, I think they need to be taken out of women's sports. That's not a place for them.
No.
It's not an even playing ground, when you do that.
We got this big issue going on with China right now as we look at this. As I'm not sure what she was trying to do, but in a speech this weekend, we've got Pelosi trying to say, as a small child, she remembers her parents telling her if she dug deep enough, she'd hit China, trying to smooth things over after she visited Taiwan. I don't think talking about things as a kid will fix those relations.
No, I don't either.
Again, I scratch my head as I watch here the news where they talk about world hunger and preventing a global food crisis as we see another ship leaving from Ukraine with 170,000 tons of corn and oil. And I sit back and I wonder, why don't we have American farmers anymore? We could probably solve that right here on our own soil.
Yeah. And, I mean, as it is, I think they've made it so expensive for the farmers here in our own country to buy fertilizer and all the different things that they need. So
we're coming back tomorrow morning, bright and early. It all kicks off at 8 a.m. again. Thank y'all for dropping by and spending time with us.
That's right. Have a wonderful day. See you back in the morning.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.